stretch. And the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edgar Martinez. Swung on the line down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wait him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my. Edgar Martinez with a double. Whip down the left field line, and they are going crazy at the Kingdom.
Legendary PA announcer for the Seattle Mariners, Tom Hutler.
The fan interest has been a really good place. It's at a good level, and with good reason. The club has been putting a good product on the field. Now that Victor Robles is back, this is a pretty scary lineup.
It is.
I mean, top to bottom now. There's really not a guy that a pitcher should be like, oh, I could take a break. You've got a lot of guys up and down the lineup who have A, power, B, speed, and C, can keep a rally going.
When you do look at, let's just say, Jorge Polanco, man, when he's going, I feel like he's the X factor.
He's just been lighting it up, and he's a switch hitter, and he's now able to switch hit. Early in the season, he was only hitting left-handed against right-handers, and now he's able to hit from both sides of the plate. He's showing some pop, and it was really a great move to bring him back this year after he had such a down year last year.
And he's been able to go out to second
Even
base.
play a little second base.
Get ready to play hardball in the Kingdom.
Take me to the ball game. I want to see the Ants. The Mariners are playing hardball. Did it again and again and again. Did it again.
Princess Tours, the vacation company, brings you the best show in baseball when the San Diego Chicken plays hardball with the Seattle Mariners and the Baltimore Orioles tonight in the Kingdom.
What up? This is Myron, and you are listening or watching the Rye Bread Mustard and Mariners podcast at Down on the Docks on the other side of the tracks, 5-star dive bar podcast about your AL West, your 2025 AL West champions. We're going live. This is the after party. If you're getting this on the podcast side in the morning, you're missing out on the live show on YouTube. Get on over there and check that out. All right, guys, I was just watching that video, and by guys, I got Hannah up in Edmonds always, and we got a little surprise guest with us, Parmesan LeBron, the man on the streets. The guy is always usually moderating the comment section of our show. I'm watching that video that we have here at the intro, and it kind of goes through Mariners fandom flashing before your eyes, right? And we don't have anything of this season on there, but wow, all of that leading up to what we've seen so far this season, culminating in tonight's victory that you saw 59 and 60. You see Cal Raleigh tie Babe Ruth, and we break this 24-year gap. We break this 20-year drought of winning our division. I mean, it's just absolutely storybook. Hannah, let's start with you.
Yeah, absolutely incredible game. The way they started off, 3 home runs in the first inning. It was a laugher to see Cal put it in the upper tank. Unbelievable. There was never a doubt they're going to lose that game and clinch the first AL West title in 20-some years. And then for him to hit 60 in the ninth, wow, Cal Raleigh runs this city.
Yeah, when he got up there in the bottom of the eighth, it was the first two guys got out too, I believe, and it was like, this is it, 2 outs, no way, not no way, but you were less just like, all right, this is going to work out perfect. The Mariners are not coming up to the plate again in this game, and he does it, and almost that stroke, it almost just looked like the clincher stroke, how he just went out there and just line that down the line. It didn't have that as high of an arc as that one. This was more of a line drive, like just more of a piss missile. Had a nice little loop to it. Parmesan, what are you feeling right now? It looks like you're wearing a jersey that maybe you had the last time we won the AL West. You get to rock it right now.
That's right. Yeah, it was pretty special. I was watching that at bat while cooking some Oppo tacos for dinner. So it was had a little celebration in the kitchen.
Nice. We over on our Instagram and our even on X, we did have Heidi had sent us a video of Cal Raleigh hitting that home run, from center field. I'll pull it up on the YouTube feed, but it's just so awesome going online right now. We were talking about it. We're all watching the same like 3 moments that happen, but from like 900 different angles. No matter what, you just need more. We need to keep feeding the machine. Here we go. Let's check this out. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
There he goes. I'm going to try to get there we go. There's the volume. But I mean, he hits this home run too while there's an MVP chant going. Look at that. I mean, and in that video, you can see somebody. I know, Hanno, you have a plan if we win the World Series, but check this out. When this ball goes over, if you watch right here from the center field, all of a sudden you just see a whole bunch of stuff pouring down. So I'm assuming that's beer. Wouldn't you? It look like beer. Okay, Hanno.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Every person was on their feet clapping, chanting MVP. It was just incredible to watch just how it started from him coming up from the on-deck circle, digs in. I mean, that's what legends are made of, and Cal is a legend. I mean, unbelievable what he did. I mean, just an incredible storybook ending to a storybook game. I mean, just a full story of this team the last few years of missing out on the playoffs, and to clinch the AL West, something that these guys have been striving for this season, how it's been up and down, to come winning, 15 of their last 16 or so. I can't even keep track. And then Cal Raleigh hit 2 home runs, being an MVP race, and then get to number 60. Incredible. Freaking legend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's just, I'm still in shock of what it is and what it means, just because I got my eye on a bigger prize, and I really haven't even, I mean, if we were a bad team or we were not a playoff team and you had somebody doing this and putting up, and we've seen that when you go back with Ichiro and the all-time hits, totally different. This is bigger than that. But while this is happening during the pennant race, this happens during the game that you break this drought. It's just like, it's too much. Even for our thumbnail that we make for the Instagram or the YouTube, it's like, well, what do we write? Do we write we clinched the West, or do we 60? No, we got to fit both of those on there, because these two will go hand in hand. And I mean, the last time that they clinched the West, it was a pretty storybook thing too, because it wasn't at the game right when they came back from 9/11, I believe. So, I mean, different story markers, but this one's bigger. And just the team that you have right now going into the playoffs now, at least, even if they lost every single game and Cleveland goes on a run, you're at least you're at least at home, more than likely going to have the second seed by the time we're doing our next podcast. But as far as them just jumping out of the gate in this game, let's talk about it a little bit. I mean, they couldn't even keep up with the home run highlights in the first inning. Cal hits this bomb. I don't even think people sat back down, and Julio hits another. And then I don't know who was up, Naylor or Gino Suarez, before they could even get the highlights of Julio and Cal hitting their home run. By the time Polanco hit a home run, they were not ready for him.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, what I took out of it too is the distance from Cal seemed so much further, but when they gave the distance to Julio's, he wasn't too far behind Cal's, I think, couple 10, 20 feet. You know, it's just was incredible. I mean, for him to be out on his front foot like that, I'm talking about Julio and getting nothing but barrel and just missed the second deck. But Cal's, man, that was just impressive. But yeah, I was waiting for those replays as well, and they just couldn't keep up. It was just home run derby, even that first inning for the Mariners.
Just absolutely madness. All right, Parmesan, you were listening. So what was Rick Riz? He's usually calling it early in the first inning. Was he just going off? Was he just, holy smokes? Well, how was he hanging in there?
I mean, all you can hear on the audio is like every at bat, it's just nonstop MVP chants going when Cal's up, you know. And then, yeah, like you said, before Julio even got a chance to hit that ball out, it was like the crowd was still not even settled down from that first home run.
No, and as soon as this first inning happened, yeah, and as soon as this first inning happened, I knew it was toast. I think this is how you should beat a team like the Colorado Rockies, especially when you have something at stake like that. I think last night, them just after this big emotional road trip, even though they had a day off, came out pretty flat with the bats. We saw a lot of swing and miss, but they were still able to capture the win in that game. You had another monster moment by your boy Josh Naylor going back into game one of this series. Hannah, what'd you see in that at bat?
Oh, it was crazy. You know, the bases were loaded. I'm kind of dissecting in my head. I wonder what's going to happen. I'm thinking possibly get out the rye bread grandma. It's grand salami time. But then I start thinking, well, Julio's on first. That's good. Big wheels. He's the go-ahead run, and then, you know, he gets a high fastball, gets on top of it, and goes with it in the left center field. And then that view from the drone, just watching the runners run, oh, it was beautiful. And just to see that, and you just knew when he was up, something good was going to happen. Either a home run, but hey, this works too. Another double in the story history of the Mariners. It was awesome.
Yeah, and just his reaction on second base, just rocking his head like a madman, was absolutely insane. And Parmesan, you were pointing out that when he did hit that ball, he didn't just put his head down and run. He made sure to look over at the dugout.
Which I didn't like, being that like the game's still going, you're not winning by that much, that you can just look over, start making gestures to your own dugout, and just trot down the first baseline. I'm honestly surprised he made it to second with him doing that. But quietly, you know, that's when that situation comes up, there's not anyone on the team right now that I want to be up more than him. Like he's quietly the best hitter on our team.
He's Mr. Clutch, that's for sure.
He's absolutely tearing the ball apart inside of T-Mobile Park, which has always been this, like we talk about all the time, the people don't like hitting there. He loves hitting there. And the numbers back it up. But yeah, sure. When he was, I think in that moment, that's all right. I hear what you're saying. Like that's another insurance run. I don't know. Maybe he could end up on third base if there's an overthrow, but nonetheless, I think nobody's really going to get on that ticky-tack. Maybe one of the coaches might say something to him about it. Well, speaking of the coaches, I really enjoyed it. It looks like, Hanno, you're wearing the same thing as Pete Woodworth and Negron. They're walking around with the gray vests in the celebrations.
Yeah, first time I've worn it since the day I got it, and saw that special occasion, break out the good gear.
Hey, you know what's so funny about you when I do remember this when you got that vest. Do you remember when you were getting a little bit antsy because they like locked you in a certain part of T-Mobile Park? Was that the giveaway when you were out in center field and they kind of pinned everybody in there?
Yeah, it could have been, but yeah, that was a time where they let you in, but you had to stay. You're right, in the lower part, kind of the beer garden of center field. You couldn't go up to the steps to center field or the steps above the bullpen, and it was just the weirdest thing. And I wanted to watch batting practice, and it was just a lot of people, and I felt like a goat, like leaving the gorge or something after a concert. How they just, corral you in there.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, they do because they used to do like kind of like we'll let you in so you can get the free stuff, but they wouldn't let you up into the upper levels that day. It was very odd. A big packed crowd on a weeknight down there. I've been watching a lot of the fun stuff. Our friend the Pike Street drummer is a popular man right now. I bet it was fun being down on Occidental tonight. As far as this weekend series coming up, Dodgers tickets sold out. I wonder if they're going to go up or they're going to go down, or they're going to stay the same. If the Mariners don't have much to play for, still you have Ohtani and you definitely have Kyle Raleigh in there making history.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, his home run streak that he's on. I mean, it's history. And being sold out, people want to be a part of this. I mean, it's crazy. It's Mariner Mania up here, and I it's hard to say if people try to hawk their tickets or not, but I just feel like that won't be the case. It's going to be a sellout crowd celebrating this amazing year for the Mariners, and wishing them good luck into the playoffs, because not everybody gets to go to the playoffs. Tickets I think are going on sale here soon, but yeah, I think it's going to be a
an
good,
hour.
great crowd. Nice.
I did see John Stanton in the locker room, and I was hoping somebody's going to have him ask him to leave, but that didn't happen. But is that one guy that you would hug in the locker room and as a fan still? Or
Well, yeah.
he's done a better job.
He's the owner. I saw the first part of it. I was just a little caught off guard when the first thing he said is, this is something doesn't happen to Seattle very often. We don't go through this stuff. Well, yeah, no shit. You're part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a gatekeeper of that. Like he's the gatekeeper. But look, the Mariners and Jerry Dipoto, it was fun watching the celebration with Justin Hollander. Looked like he was pretty lit in there, but I'm wondering if those guys are drinking before that party even starts.
Yeah, probably in the first inning when up 3. That's what I would be.
Yeah.
This baby's over.
Tonight, yeah. Tonight, we were talking on the phone, and we were talking about how great Luis Castillo was pitching tonight, and that it was nice and very apropos that he's out there tonight. And we were wondering if they're going to bring him back out in the 8th and give him a standing ovation walk-off, and why we were like, yeah, that should happen. But the way he got out of ended the 7th inning with that pose, we were almost like, do you just stop right there? Because that nailing that pose that he hit was amazing.
Oh, the signature of Castillo, the statue, I call it, when he gives the fist. Yeah. I mean, it just makes the hair on your arm stand up. I mean, he had an incredible game. Yeah. Just freaking he was dealing.
Yeah, and he hit the he threw in the lunge with it. I like that he did the fist and he kind of dropped down to a knee on a lunge, like right on the mound. Comes back for gets the first hitter to ground, and he's got to run over and cover first base. So it wasn't as simple as maybe he thought. But we got it. What's this? We got a comment here. Bo Shampoo. It's going to be packed And loud as hell, waiting for Cal to break Judge's record. Go Mariners!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean he's got an absolute shot. I asked you tonight, and Parmesans, you said once he hit that first home run, you knew the second one was coming tonight.
Yeah, you just get that feeling. I mean, especially in the first inning, it's like, okay, he's feeling it. You get worried that he could easily have one of those cold spells where he goes a couple games without hitting a home run.
Touch.
But you know, if he hits
Or even
one, he
touch
hits him
the
in
ball.
he hits him in bunches. So you know that's coming.
He does. He's like a popcorn machine when he hits home runs. You know, it's
And
like
I don't know.
pop, 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 and then nothing, and pop, 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 pop.
I don't know what they were measuring that home run with. That they said it was 438.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
It looked a lot farther than 438. I mean, that was a fucking monstrous shot. I mean, upper deck, what about 3 rows up into the balcony?
Yeah.
And it wasn't majestic. It was a vicious bomb.
You know, I think too that like a big exclamation point on that second home run, besides that it's 60, besides that they clinched the West Division, is that you've got Judge hitting 2 home runs tonight. You've got Schwarber hitting 2 home runs tonight. So you're not going to let those guys steal the thunder away from you. That he's making sure to end the night of baseball, letting everybody know it's the Cal Rally show.
Well, yeah, you're right. A guy like Schwarber is definitely probably pushing him. I mean, Cal Raleigh doesn't hit 2 home runs tonight. Kyle Schwarber's a good game away from tying Cal Raleigh, but no, he keeps playing add-on, and we've seen him. I mean, Judge, you're right. We're on a text thread with Big Vlad. He's hitting us with, it was great. He was hitting us with 50, and then we retorted right back, Cal 59, and then he was like, Judge 51, and we were like, home run Julio, and then it kind of just stopped right there, like our little friendly joust with him, and then Hanho later night after Cal hit that, he gets on the thread and he goes 60 and counting.
Well, what's so cool too, you know, I mean, special, I think, is we don't see too many curtain calls. I mean, Cal's done a couple this year, but Seattle players just don't do that or go through that. And that curtain call was badass for him to go out there after that 60th home run. I mean, you see that from all kinds of other teams around the country. You don't see that in Seattle very often. You can't name too many players that get that opportunity to do that. Amazing stuff. And to see that, man, it was cool to be a part of and just see that, especially for him. I mean, he's freaking killing it.
We did have a comment, and so we have a few more comments. It's Bo. It's Shampoo, not easy to name. LOL. That was a nuke. Absolutely. Yes. It was shot out of a rocket launcher. We got Sushi Dude 12. Dude, the Mariners have a 21st century Babe Ruth. I mean, Aaron Smith tonight when he was talking about stats, he goes, "You don't get real." He's tied the Bambino. And it's like, he goes, all of a sudden he goes, God, you really don't usually get to say that name very much. You're right. I mean, like Babe Ruth's numbers are so almost fictitious to somebody like me that's been watching baseball for, you know, too many years that I want to admit. But yeah, Babe Ruth. But as growing up, we were always chasing Babe Ruth's ghost with Ken Griffey Jr. and it never quite happened. And we had that happen 3 different seasons. We had the season in 1994 that got cut short because of the strike. And then we had the back-to-back 56 seasons where he didn't quite get up there. And to have somebody do this, who's also a catcher, that's just, I mean, you have to give this guy the MVP. We kept on raising the bar. Well, if he hits 50, he's going to be, you got to give him the MVP. And then, you know, Judge kind of just kept going. So you're like, all right, maybe it's 55. And then Hanson had a number of 58. And then we're like, okay, it's 60. I mean, if he gets to 62, or let's just say he gets 3 more and gets to 63, you have to hand him the MVP if you already have not. And I think we've talked about it before. You look at Kyle Schwarber's numbers, and then you look at Ohtani's, and you go, well, Ohtani also pitches. All right, we have to kind of sway towards Ohtani. And here we got to go towards Cal Raleigh because he's doing it as a catcher. And that, I think, is going to come through when the vote is final. Your thoughts on that, Parmesan, and then Hanno?
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think, that's the argument against Judge every year. It's like, yeah, give him the Hank Aaron Award. Like, he is the best hitter. Like, there's no doubt about that. But when it comes down to what you're doing for your team, there's an endless amount of attributes that Cal's bringing to the game, right? He has to come into the game knowing every hitter on the opposing team. He has to work with the pitchers, call the pitches. He's actually just doing so much more. And it's a mental game. He's just more important. And you think about that too, is that like right now when he's doing this, sure, down the road when he gets much older and he's DHing, if he's still producing at this kind of clip, then that's the argument, right? You're like, oh, well, it's just a DH hitting 50 something home runs. And I think to your point, the same, like you said, with Ohtani, it's like the discussion would be less if he wasn't a pitcher than he's just a great hitter.
Yeah, I mean,
Hanno?
I agree with everything, and the only thing I really have to add to it, besides all those accolades, I mean, he's a switch hitter, unbelievable. First player ever to have 20 home runs from each side of the plate. But what impresses me even more is Cal hits mistakes, but he hits balls. I mean, that are not close and not just a cookie over the plate he puts out. I mean, like that 60 tonight was down, not a strike, and he golfed it out of there. He hits a lot of bad pitches. I mean, that most players would never be able to hit. He hits them out.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this dude hits a lot of meaningful home runs. Either pulls you right back in, ties you, blows a game open, runs a pitcher out of there. Name it. And on top of that, we've just forgot. He also had a big rip double tonight that cleared the bases and really broke this entire game open. You had the 3 home runs earlier in the game, and you know what you want to see with the Mariners, especially going into the postseason, is those keeping when the ball stays in the yard, just being able to come up and move the runners over and score them and cash in. And you saw that last night with Naylor. You started seeing that in the Houston series. You see it tonight with Cal too. Just driving the ball. He's not having the swing and miss. He's in a great place right now. And I also feel like too, going forward this weekend, we talked about it. We brought up the scenario of, all right, how do we get him more at bats? I mean, even tonight, you were just one person short of he doesn't get that at bat, but he hits in the 2 slot. Do you think you'll see him go to the 1 slot or not? Or do you think that's something that is a little bush league? Some people look at that. If you're not a leadoff hitter, now you're doing it. What's your thought on that, Hanno?
Yeah, I could definitely see him DHing, especially if we get that 2 seed tomorrow. I think he wants to go for the record. I think the Mariners want him to. Personally, I don't like that idea, but I understand it. I think I'd just like him to stay at the 2 hole where he's been at. But if they're trying to get him more at bats for that, I mean, I think then the argument will go from all the East Coast fans is, well, Judge never went through that. He didn't need to do that, and I just don't want to hear that BS.
Well, I'd have to go back and look. I'm trying to wonder if they did do that. I thought that this has happened in the past, and I'd have to go look at Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa, or maybe go look in the baseball almanac and see if they did this with Babe Ruth at all or Roger Maris. I don't think they did because we would have heard about it, but it was just kind of something I was curious about, just the way that they kind of in the new age of baseball where they kind of can put people in weird spots. I mean, traditionally growing up, Cal wouldn't even be a 2-hitter. Now he's a 2-hitter.
Yeah, absolutely. They used to be, your power hitter was your 4-hitter, and your all-around best hitter was your 3-hitter. But that's changed, and for the reason you were just talking about, the 2-hitters, so they get more at bats.
So here's to answer your
Yeah.
question. The New York Yankees moved Judge to the leadoff position late in the season, starting in late September, maximize his at-bats and
Didn't know that.
opportunities to break Maris's record. Notably, his milestone 60th, 61st, and the 62nd were hit as the leadoff hitter.
Well, then they have
Judge
nothing to
did
talk
it,
about then. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it, put him up first, right? I mean, if you have nothing to play for, like tomorrow, they still got to win their game. I don't know what time the Cleveland-Detroit game starts. Probably, I would assume, or quite a bit earlier. Maybe it's a day game. I'll look. If they clinch, yeah, I don't see Cal getting any days off, but I do think you're going to see Mitch Garver catch, and you're definitely going to probably see Harry Ford catch. Maybe get his first actual MLB hit. I think he only has the sac fly, if I can remember correctly, because there hasn't really been a situation to play him. So that's a good opportunity. He's going to be able to catch some games. He got to catch there in the 9th inning when the Mariners clinched the West. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, Cal's going to be the DH. So I'm guessing maybe you'll see Polanco get a little bit of rest, maybe not play as much. I'm sure just to stay active. And did he hit his plate appearances for these incentives? I know he hit one. I didn't know if he got to the next one, but
yeah, I'm pretty positive he did. I think it was like just less than 10, maybe a week ago.
Okay,
because let me double check here. I'll be the stat department.
Okay. I really loved Cal Raleigh again, doubling down with the let's just win this fucking thing. I'm sure the Mariners and Root Sport aren't that pleased about it, but what are you going to do now? He's got to do it every single time. He can't stop doing it. It's a superstitious game. And we put a poll out on our X, and you can vote right here. How do you feel? Do you love the fact that he's been dropping F-bombs? And you get two choices, yes or fuck yes. There's no other options on there. I'm going to go with fuck yes. I think it's great. The toothpaste out of the tube, as they say. As far as parents and kids, probably not that great. It is shocking to hear out of him because I kind of look at Cal Raleigh and a lot of the Mariners and Julio and them, and they're very John Cena, Nickelodeon, Teen Choice Awards kind of guys. This isn't the Legion of Boom and Marshawn Lynch, So when Cal dropped the F-bomb, it was very like, whoa, and it almost didn't seem. I mean, I guess it seemed natural, but it definitely was just out of character for him. Loved it when he did it tonight again for the second time, and Angie gave him the old bad Cal swat. I really enjoyed it. What'd you think about that, Hanno?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was great. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You don't expect Cal to be doing that. He's polished when he talks to the media. It's a different type of dude. I mean, he's talking locker room talk to all the fans out there. I mean, it's awesome. But yeah, he's, like I said earlier, he's done a bunch of crazy things. He's a legend here in Seattle.
Yeah, he's becoming a legend everywhere. I've traveled to the East Coast this summer. I'm down here in LA. People are talking Cal Raleigh. The first thing, Carl Tart, SNL writer Carl Tart, a little plug here, we'll be dropping that episode Friday morning on the podcast side, probably Thursday night on the YouTube side. The first thing he wanted to do was talk about Cal Raleigh right when we get in that show. And he's just also, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a teaser. He thinks that the Seattle Mariners, because of Cal Raleigh, are America's team. Especially when it was dealing with the Astros this last weekend. And, you look at what Cal's done for the team and what he's done for Julio. Julio's quietly, a career high 32 home runs somebody we were worried about. He's absolutely had a torrid second half. And I got to say, you were talking about that drone shot when Naylor hit that big double. Julio was on his absolute horse.
Yeah, as he should be. It was great to see him run the bases like that. I mean, he was flying. You're exactly right. And pumped when he crossed home plate. That was really cool to see.
Yeah, it was really fast. If I was watching it, and I really nerded out last night. This is why I got little to no sleep. Was I stayed up and I was watching Griffey go first to home and him first to home, and I was just seeing who did it faster or whatever. And I didn't get as far as getting out the stopwatch, but I do have to say, when it comes to the turn from third to home, Junior had him on a tighter turn. Maybe it was the AstroTurf, maybe it was just Griffey being Griffey right there. But I think in a foot race on those particular ones, Griffey gets it by just this much. And let's not forget, Griffey was racing against a hell of a relay.
Yeah, he was. I mean, very similar plays for sure. Griffey's, that ball was hit down the left field line and Naylor's was hitting left center. Yeah, couple crazy doubles.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle is absolutely going to be taking this in. I mean, I'm glad that they clinched the West before Thursday's game for another reason. The Seahawks are playing on the same day. So we got 2 games to watch tomorrow. I'm so glad we don't have to do a podcast. I'll tell you that much. And I wonder what the vibes are going to be like. Is this game is in Arizona?
Yep.
Okay. So Seahawks game's on, Mariners game's on. What, about an hour and a half after they kick off, or an hour they kick off? So I just think that was pretty good for probably both teams that this happened tonight. Now we're going to be looking at number 2 seed, I believe. We have looked at the playoff bracket. I could just pull it up right now. You have made this argument, Hanno, that you'd like to just stay where we're at. You'd rather not go on the other side of the bracket. Do you think the number 2 spots where things line up better?
Yeah, I just like seeing the way things are laid out right now. That other side of the bracket be the AL East teams fighting it out in the wild card, and then they would face the Yankees in that second round. And I'm not afraid of any of those teams. I think we can go up against any of those teams, but I would just like to see those teams fight it out first, and then in the ALCS. So I would prefer to stay in that 2 seed. I mean, we're two games behind for the number 1 seed right now, and both of those teams, Toronto and New York, have the tie break. It'd be pretty hard for us to get that 1 seed, but anything's possible with this team.
I look at this bracket and I look at the teams that are in the other ones, and yeah, I feel a little bit more comfortable playing Detroit. I don't know about Cleveland, even though we've put it this way: the team that would win this and play us, we've won the season series. On the other side, yeah, those are all teams that we did not win the season series, but we also haven't played. We also haven't played Toronto in a very long time, and we also haven't played any of these teams since we've had our guys Naylor and Eugenio come over, and just the way that the Mariners are playing right now, we haven't played these guys with the team pitching like this. So it's hard to say that I'd still be scared of them. I'm with you too. I think I'm not scared of any team. And actually we are 1 game back of Toronto, but it is 2 games because we've lost the tiebreaker. So we're 1 game back. We got 89 wins. They got 90 wins. Yankees got 90 wins, but yes, they both own the tiebreaker. So yeah, you got 2 games to make up right there. Toronto looks like they're coming apart a bit. Cleveland obviously playing very well. Detroit has been a complete and total collapse. I think at one point we were 7 or 7.5 games behind them. Now we're a couple of games above, 3 games ahead of them.
Yeah, the streak we've been on sure changed things up real quickly. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago it was the 14 gamer. This year it's definitely the turnaround that they've had since, whatever you want to call it. Some want to call it the Etsy witch. We might want to say it wasn't when Tom Hutler came on here, or maybe you could just point to when Victor Robles came back to the team. Either way, I think they're 16 out of 17 or 15 out of 16. This is, you couldn't draw up a better time to get hot like this. Now, if they do get a first round bye into the second round, are you concerned about things stopping?
Well, that's the age-old attitude to talk rest versus rust. I'm not concerned with that at all. We got Brian Wu, who's injured. We have our bullpen guys that have pitched their ass off every single day. Cal Raleigh's played 158 out of games so far this year, or something like that, or close to. If he plays the rest, it'd be 158 out of 162, something like that, I heard. Rest is a good thing for this team. We have home field advantage. I'm not concerned about it at all.
Sushi Dude 12 says, I'm happy with the number 2 in the American League, so long as we are the number 1 in the World Series. I think that would go to probably whoever's coming out of the National League. The Brewers have 96 wins. Phillies have 93. We have the same amount of wins as the Dodgers, which is interesting. That race for the NL West, as of right now, the Dodgers have not, I think they've clinched a tie at the time of this recording. I don't know. They're probably going to be resting because I don't believe they are in a situation where they can catch number 2. So they will be hosting either the Cincinnati Reds, the Arizona Diamondbacks, or the Mets. I kind of equate the Mets and maybe the Detroit Tigers the same way. Just 2 teams that seem to be collapsing. I'd love to play them as soon as possible. Hanno, it's another late night here on the podcast. Same thing for Parmesan LeBron. Go to a quick 30-second break, and we'll just wrap this up with a toast to the AL West champion Seattle Mariners.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. But who dat? Not McMillan and wife, yet in sleuth, who done it? Who stole the Reds raw? Cardinal sins, indeed. Who robbed the Rangers in broad daylight? Look to the woods. Who batted ninth to become number 1? Would you believe number 17? Who leads the big time in twin killings? Why, they may all get a record. And what species of rodent would not yield in the infield? You daddy rat, you. Hung up with no clue, Watson, old man? Well, don't stay and stir. Solutions you'll incur. Just refer your call to This Week in Baseball.
Well, This Week in Baseball is a historic one, like we've talked about here on this podcast. We've come a long way in the last couple of years since the last time we went into the playoffs. We weren't even doing a video podcast, but since we decided and started working for Odyssey, and obviously we're not there anymore, it's been a hard, long road to how we're feeling and the content we're doing and the enthusiasm of doing it. And the Seattle Mariners have provided it. I mean, this team feels, smells familiar to what I think we saw with the Seattle Seahawks in 2013 and 2014. Very similar to how we felt in 2001 and 1995, or some of us that still were around when the Sonics were. This is how the Sonics felt in 96 when they were going up against the Bulls. Would you say that's how this feels versus 2022, Hannah, or any of the other years? This is a legitimate World Series contender, if not World Series winner contender.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this team's legit. They're stacked up and down their lineup. Their pitching's come around. I mean, I've been waiting to hear these 6 words my whole life, and I feel like we have a hell of a chance, and that is the Mariners have won the pennant. So, yeah, I feel really good about this team.
Parmesan, where are you at?
Yeah, I mean it's a great feeling. You're not feeling nervous at all going in with this team. I think what almost is going to make it better is the things that I'm looking for is I want to face the Yankees in the playoffs. I think that's the demon that you want to get off your back. Like having the Cal Judge matchup in the playoffs, whether that be, you know, depending on how the seeding shakes up, you know, who knows when that's going to be. But I think that would be the one thing I would like to see. And it's exciting that we're going to get to see the matchup here at the end of the week with the Dodgers. I'm pretty pumped up for that too, because that easily could be a World Series preview.
Yeah, I hear you out where it's kind of like, all right, people are going to debate this way for Judge, this way for Cal. Fuck it. Let's just have it out right here in the playoffs. And even though that doesn't factor into it, it should. And if it's a human being voting, I mean, I don't know exactly when they vote. I think they vote before, so that doesn't sway it. But yeah, that'll be the ultimate. I think that's the team that honestly in the American League outside of the Mariners, like realistically, when you look at them, you go, that's probably the team that you got to get through to win. And yeah, that would be a great exorcism to go through the Yankees. We put together, or I did a video. If this was again a 30 for 30, and you're going back through all these teams that have like held you back for your entire franchise career. Yeah. Yankees are one of them. And we even said, if you want to get wild, you go and the Brewers win the NL, you could have the old storyline of, hey, this is a team that showed up to Seattle for a year and said, get me the hell out of here. And then, you know, about 50 years later, you're playing them in the World Series. Yeah, we had a couple more comments here. We had one from, what's this? Elon's Clit. Oh, my God. Great name, I guess, if you're on one side. If you're on the other, it's inappropriate. So clever. It caught me. He got me. So proud to live in this city right now, Elon's Clit says. Elon's Clit also says, way to go, Cal. And then earlier, Sushi Dude said true, not to eat what Elon's Clit said. But Sushi Dude did want to clarify, by the number 1, I meant the end of the World Series. Yes. Okay. Fully agree. I'm glad you cleared that up. But yeah, look, this is the underground podcast on the other side of the track. Sometimes we get comments like that. Listen, they caught Cal caught everybody off with the F-bomb, and Elon's Clit caught everybody off here on this podcast.
I wanted to point out one thing, just to point out for this weekend. I think some good baseball we're going to see. I mean, one is we got the Padres going against Arizona, which is interesting since Arizona's fighting to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think too that, you know, the Dodgers haven't locked up that division yet. So, you know, it's like we said, it'll be interesting when we get towards that final game or two, where the only thing we're watching anymore is Ohtani and Cal.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. NL West could have 3 teams in the thing. We got some more comments. We got Fallen Fire. This is the greatest thing ever. My first time alive seeing them win the division. Oh, you lucky bastard! If this is the first time you've seen them alive win the division, that means you're less than 24 years old. Hey, thanks for tuning in and say, I guess we got some younger followers here. Speaking of followers, if you have not subscribed, helps the show out a lot. We know that a lot of people get this podcast through the podcast because we are traditionally a podcast, but we're on YouTube. You know, subscribing helps us at both places. Also, We usually have this banner running, and I'm going to run it right now, and I'll finish up on these questions. In the Clutch apparel, listen, I'm sure they have plenty of Cal Raleigh stuff, probably some inappropriate Cal Raleigh wear. Head on over to In the Clutch and put in that code rye bread and mustard. And if you're going to save yourself some money, also, if you want that street cred for rocking the rye bread, you want that rye bread gear, hit up at simply.cora. She's on Etsy and on Instagram. You can go ahead and DM her or hit us up at the podcast on the Instagram. And listen, if you're headed down to the game, you need a pre-funk spot. The only spot to do that at, in my opinion, is Tacos and Tequila right there on Occidental. It's literally the closest bar to the stadium when you're going from the north down to the south. If you're looking for the address of that place, it's not here on my scroll right now, so you can just Google that, all right? Make this nice and easy for you. Actually, it's right here. If we just wait, 3, 2, 1. I'm stalling so I can read the 1021 Occidental Avenue South. Also, check out their expansion. And if you just want, just a dog, you just want that dog off of Occidental, there's no other place than Al's Gourmet Sausages. None of these people told me to tell you this. I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart, okay? Quick, we got every time we want to get out of here, that's when everybody wants to say stuff. Patrick Butler, I love the Mariners. I am only worried that they might not beat the Brewers in the World Series. LOL. Hanno?
Brewers were playing really well earlier in the year. Maybe tailed a little bit, but they handed the Mariners their ass when they came to Seattle. So hard to say.
Sushi Dude 12 says, welcome to the club, Fallen Fire. We also have, let's just call him EC from now on. Great podcast. Keep up the great work. Thank you, EC. Thought that was amusing. Yeah. Interesting choice of the name there. You could have been named it anything, but you named it that. You're a clever person. Anyways, I think we're all excited. I think we're all exhausted. It's been a long week. We also, again, we have a special episode coming out Friday, dropping just like we kind of mentioned right there, but I'm going to actually show you a little thing. There it is. Saturday Night Live writer Carl Tart. Interesting conversation. Why it's cool is he's taking the listener behind the scenes quite a bit at how SNL works as far as getting sketches in from just like who are the people that watch baseball and go to sports that maybe you wouldn't think on the cast or anywhere in the writing team, and just his experience being out at Saturday Night Live last season during the 50th anniversary and coming back and what he expects for this season of SNL that kicks off on October 4th. So after we watch probably the Mariners in the first game of the division series, SNL will be premiering with Bad Bunny and Doja Cat, and Carl, our good friend Carl Tart, will be there penning that show. So check that out on Friday. Anyways, we did it, guys. Time for a toast. I've been waiting to pour this this Martinelli's. Mariners took so long to win a division title, I stopped drinking. But here's a toast to the 2025 AL West division champions. Kiss our ass, Astros. Damn, that was good. Was that the best drink of water you've ever had, Hanno, maybe?
Refreshing for sure.
And for the last word, the no more comments, Patrick Butler coming in. Cal saying the F word like that should have gotten him suspended. ... JK. All right, good. Anyways, Hanno, with that being said, until we talk on Thursday on our regular season finale, you know what time it is. John.